where we need to be. I'll start the recording, and hopefully that's us. I would just ask the lovely people that are in the audience today just to post in the chat that you can actually hear us, because it just seemed to be a bit finicky. So I'll ask again, if the people in the audience, if one or two of you, if you can hear us, if you could please let us know, that would be fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you. You guys are wonderful. Oh, these guys are looking forward to getting the prize draw at the end. Let me share my screen and go back to my presenter view and share some content and share a screen and head over to this one and click here. And so welcome to our second webinar of the year for public consumption on how to deal with negative reviews online with Learn with Wonks. I'm going to hand over to Olivia, who's our sales traffic controller, and she's going to go through some housekeeping for everyone.
Awesome. So welcome everyone. Before we kick off this webinar, we will be recording this and we will share it on our YouTube channel and through our email updates. So for those who couldn't make it, or if you miss anything and want to share this with your colleagues, you will have that option. We encourage you to engage with us. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please don't hesitate to use the chat function. Our team will be actively monitoring the chat and ready to address your queries at the end of the presentation. Now, let's take a moment for introductions. So joining us today, we have Joshua Biddle and Eric Johnson, our business development managers, who bring a wealth of experience in beginning the client relationships and driving business growth. We have Nick Rising, our sales director. He brings his expertise in sales strategy and team leadership to guide our efforts towards success. Myself, Olivia Howard, the sales traffic controller, dedicated to ensuring our sales team's processes run smoothly. And last but not least, today's webinar will be presented by Jeff McGregor, the founder and CEO of the company, whose vision and leadership have guided us to where we are today. So over to you, Jeff, and thank you.
Geez, I'm actually paying you money to say nice things like that about me, so I appreciate that, Livy. Fantastic. Just also a special congratulations to Vitaman.kiwi for winning the spot prize last month. They were really great to engage with, a solid Kiwi company. We took this webinar, the webinar recorded last month, and we popped it onto Twitter or X, and it had over 1 million impressions, and we had quite a number of people bookmark it to come back to at a later date and time. As Livy said, it will go up on YouTube. It is somewhat of a disconcerting exercise because I'm in meetings all throughout the month, and in a meeting you get people talking back with you. In a webinar like this, I presume you're listening, but you don't get any feedback. So it's actually a little bit of a surreal experience. But we got through it last time, and I'm sure we'll get through it again. So thank you for all of the attendees today. If you are watching this on playback, please don't hesitate to ask further questions on either X or on YouTube. Of course, if you do have other content that you want us to go over at a later date and time, then please don't hesitate to ask about that. So as to the webinar, what will we cover? Well, we're going to look after reviews, or look at reviews in general. We're going to look at Google reviews, Facebook reviews, Glassdoor reviews, and we're going to look at general reviews.
Next season is July, August.
Just mute some people there that need to be muted. Apologies. I will state here, I know there may be some people that are in the audience today that want me to give them a magic wand for how to resolve negative reviews. Unfortunately, I cannot do that. I have been working in the digital industry for over 15 years now, and it has been a disaster. Reviews in general have never been adequately dealt with by the tech companies, and throughout the entire 15 years, Google has changed the name of the platform that they have used. So it used to be called Google Places, and then it went through a whole roundabouts of names. I believe now it's called Google Business Profile. Typically, we call it Google My Business because that's the lexicon that's most known out in the community. So this will be more weighted toward Google, and that is predominantly because Google is the overriding review platform within New Zealand. It will be different in United States. Obviously, we're not in that market, so we don't need to talk about that, but it is different dependent on where you are selling into. So I will keep this webinar New Zealand centric, and by extension, it is also Australian centric because Australasia is relatively homogenous when it comes to online activity. So why reviews matter? Well, real life people see high reviews as a validation of your business. And so it is actually quite important that there are reviews. And it's something that a lot of businesses in New Zealand and Australia just don't do. If you look at a lot of Google My Business listings, there will be 1 or 2 reviews or no reviews at all. In fact, a lot of businesses simply don't understand that that listing exists for them and don't pay it much attention. Now, when I get to Google My Business, I'll actually talk about the product a bit more generally before honing in on reviews and why it is important. But humans see it as real validation. And so it's something that you want to provide them. But then underneath the reviews, the algorithms see it as a really important ranking factor. So in search engine optimization language, there is what's termed on-page and off-page SEO. On-page SEO is the way that your website is built. It's the page titles, it's the meta tags, it's the body content, things like that. And that's fine, you've got a lot of control over that. Off-page SEO is how the rest of the internet, the World Wide Web, is seeing your business and directing traffic back. Now, historically, that was links back to the site. Backlinks have depressed in recent years because a lot of businesses were gaming the system. And what has come to the fore is real reviews because they're genuine. Google spends a lot of time on weeding out the reviews that are not real. So the kind of thing that needs to occur within an account is the inbox needs to be used, Gmail needs to be used. There needs to be constant history on the account. There needs to be engagement into YouTube. A whole series of elements within a Google profile need to be activated in order for your review to be posted. So that stops a lot of fake posts from being able to be put forward because Google's algorithm comes along and removes new accounts that are going out there and reviewing. So when you see a review on Google, it is a genuine review. It is connected to a genuine account. Of course, there might be a pseudonym behind that account that is stopping you from seeing the real person, and we will get to that. So the algorithms these days really do see it as quite powerful as having more reviews. So especially when you've got more reviews than your competitors, you're more likely to show up in a localized search. And on mobile devices, localized searches are far more prevalent. They are too on desktops, laptops, but sometimes everyone has their location targeting set up. Reviews encourage more reviews. So if you've got a limited number of reviews, it is harder to climb the stairs toward getting more, but the more you have, the more you are going to be able to drive towards. So that is definitely something to get a roll on. Again, I'll talk about that. And then professionalism. So just generally speaking, taking pride in your business, taking pride in the way that your brand is represented online is important. And so people will resonate with that. They'll see that you do have not only 5-star reviews, I think it goes a lot further that those reviews have content behind them. It's all well and good getting a 5-star non-commented review, but the ones that say lovely things about you, your products, your staff, your customer service, that has the air of authenticity, it's genuine, and it lifts your business's professional standards. So generally speaking, that's why reviews matter. Oopsie daisy, let's go back. So then we've got the #1 review site online. It's Google My Business, Google Business Profile. It allows you to display your brand and logo. I'm presuming that most people listening today are aware of their Google My Business listing, and that's probably why they've joined the webinar today. But you can add contact details, which are listed prominently on Google, open hours, service options. Obviously, you can generate reviews, regular posts, and there are some other features. I'll touch on those when we get to that section. Social reviews. Facebook can be a bit iffy. You can see the image here has 7 reviews. When we get to it, you'll see that actually there appears to only be 3 or 4. We ourselves have removed Facebook from being live. I've added it to be published today for the purposes of this webinar. The reason that we didn't have it live was mainly because of the negative reviews that weren't real, and we had no way of combating them, and it was being indexed on Google. And so we looked at it and said to ourselves, well, there's not really that much value that Facebook's giving us, especially if it's going to show our business in a negative light for people that we've never worked with, who we presume are our competitors. So they are important. However, it doesn't add to the ranking of your website. Unlike Google My Business listings, which will increase the ranking factors for your website, social reviews do not. That's not to say that a social review doesn't have credibility. It absolutely does, because what it will allow for is someone in your community reviewing or recommending a business. You are more likely to take that review as valid as opposed to perhaps an anonymous review online. But still, it can be, put your energy, would be my recommendation, put your energy more so into the Google side of it. Reviews on Facebook can be prone to spam. Now, it is true that they can be prone to spam on Google as well. But as I said, what you find with Google is that they have actually put in a lot of checks and balances to ensure that it isn't just a new account that can go and do those reviews, whereas Facebook actually goes the other way. They actively encourage reviews that aren't really reviews, and I will touch on that as well. And then reviews can appear and disappear at random on Facebook. In fact, that's true on Google too. We have a spreadsheet that we track all of our reviews on, and we have periodically lost, we believe at this point, we've lost about 20 reviews that have disappeared from clients who we know have not removed the review. That's Google just doing Google, Facebook doing Facebook. And so that's real frustration. It's especially a real frustration given that we know how difficult it is to generate new reviews for your site. So something to watch. I do actually recommend that you do keep an independent spreadsheet of all of your reviews. So when you lose a review, you can go back and cross-check this. And again, I'll show you that. In fact, I'll show you that now, how silly this can be. When we go through to our reviews, if we go to one of our reviews, and I'll find it. Lots of reviews, yay. Where are we? It's probably the one that's disappeared now that I've gone to go and do it. Here we go. So Bill reviewed us 5 months ago and had a pseudonym. And now you can see that I responded to him 4 years ago. So that math doesn't work. He's posted 5 months ago, but we responded to him 4 years ago. So you can see that Google just randomly removes reviews for no reason. Still our client has been for, probably coming up on 8 years now. They reviewed us at least 4 years ago and it disappeared. So one of those things that you can't really combat too much. You're just at the, whims of the online platforms. And to that point, global platforms are not our friends. We sit at the bottom of the South Pacific, and we are some of the most intelligent, certainly the most attractive people on Earth. Unfortunately, that means that we have the tyranny of distance and that we are subject to effectively American law. Now, Glassdoor, as I'll show you when I get further into the webinar, has allowed some posts of web wonks that are extremely defamatory and negative to be allowed to be shown. And there's nothing that we can do about it. And they are hiding behind big tech and the First Amendment. Well, we don't have the First Amendment in New Zealand, Australia, the UK, or Canada, and common law countries. And it is an issue globally for businesses who work very hard in a local area to then have the ability for anonymized individuals, disgruntled clients, disgruntled ex-employees, disgruntled competitors. Heck, I have seen reviews, and some of you might be aware of this. I have seen reviews where someone didn't answer the phone quick enough, or that they saw a sign written vehicle that they thought cut someone off. Nothing to do with the business, nothing to do with the service or the product or anything along those lines. This person's just cuckoo, and they're allowed to go and post these reviews. So it's something that is fundamentally flawed in the way that the tech platforms operate, because you have a very limited ability to remove these reviews. And I know that, as I said earlier, this might be a frustration to hear from some of the audience. I don't have a magic wand. I do have some recommendations though. So adding reviews to your website, I'll just finalize up just some general things. A lot of businesses that we work with have reviews on their site, and they have been emailed testimonials by their clients. Now, in and of themselves, these have value because someone will see it and they'll get value from that, and they'll go, oh, okay, I liked that business, I liked that product. But unfortunately, a review posted on your website doesn't add any value to the indexing of your site. It is very unlikely that it's going to be seen unless it's actively gone and found. And so I would always recommend that you are sending people the links, and Nick will show you that a little later on. However, that said, product reviews, as the one here, the Barista Touch, I purchased this myself for my wife for Christmas. Pro tip: if you buy a coffee machine for your better half, you get a gift too. So anyway, this particular review, you'll see here, it says originally posted on Breville.com, and I was on the Briscoe's website. This does have value because the syntax of Google will take that review and it will post it. And I'll show you those reviews when we get a little bit further along. So yes, you can have reviews and testimonials on your website. I would never say not to, but they don't add anywhere near as much value as if you get the review in your Google My Business profile, on your Facebook page, or on any of the other platforms that you may wish to use. And so those other platforms are the likes of No Cowboys. No Cowboys, I think, they've been around for a long time now. Many of the businesses in the trades will know this website. Many of the listeners, audience attendees may have used No Cowboys. They do have a paid program, but I do not believe that that is in any way associated to the reviews. So the reviews are quite independent. But that's another area that people go to get their reviews. And so it's an area that if you are getting reviews there, you should be aware of them. The good thing about working with a New Zealand-based business is that if you were to find that there was out and out defamatory statements or lies, No Cowboys is more likely to remove it because of the laws we have in New Zealand. The second one, bad burnt pizza from a local pizza company near me. I don't know whether or not you can read that for yourself in terms of if that's a valid review. That is on TripAdvisor. And so for a lot of restaurants, people in the hospitality game, you will see that there are lots of different platforms where you're being reviewed. Hospitality is possibly one of the hardest industries, not only because it's a very hard industry to work in anyway, but because people feel that if they get a slightly cold burger at 2 a.m, that means that's carte blanche for them to attack everyone. And it's not fair and reasonable, but that is the world that we live in. There's less accountability in people's behavior than there ever has been before. Problem is, this is your livelihood. This is your business. This is your company. And it isn't fair. Life isn't fair. It isn't fair that your business is being attacked this way. So let's look at what we can do, because it's all about empowerment. It's about taking control from the trolls and looking toward what you can do as a business owner. So the number one thing that can offset a negative review is a whole bunch of positive reviews. And don't wait until you get the negative reviews. Start today on getting the positive reviews, because the more positive reviews you have, obviously the betterment that you're going to get. So go forth and prosper. After this, go off and do it. And you'll see here, Capital Watches 6 months ago. Fantastic team, clever people. Thank you very much. Thanks, team. It's great working with you. So we responded to that. Make sure your category is correct. Unfortunately for us, our category is internet marketing service. That's the sort of thing that my dad, who's, boomer that he is, nice guy, and sorry to any boomers that are here, but he'll go, oh, you're an internet marketing business. No, we're a web analytics business, but we don't have that category. Many of the other categories that are available for your business might differ, and there might be multiple versions of it. It is important that you have the right category for your business, because the more reviews you have, the more likely you're going to rank when that exact category is searched for. So after this, go and have a look at your category and go and update your category so you've got alignment when someone searches for it and you are being shown above all of your competitors. Go and have a look at your competitors. So I'm not going to go and show you a list of my competitors in this call. There's no need to go and speak to them. We've got 5-star reviews, so come see us. It is interesting, though, to go and have a look at your competitors, because it's an opportunity for you to understand if there's an easy win. And there often is. It is a difficult thing to get more reviews, and so businesses switch off and they don't go ahead and do it. However, if you see that one of your competitors or the bulk of your competitors on average have 10 reviews and you've got 3, within 3 months, you could have 25 reviews. And now you're seen to be the authority in your industry really simply and really easily. If you've got 3 reviews and your average competitor has 50 reviews, you are not going to pick up work online. It's as simple as that. People are going to see you as lesser. Whether or not that's true is by the by. You've got a short window of time to connect with the user, the viewer of your reviews. And if they're doing a map search, near me search, and you've got a limited number of reviews and they've got lots, well, you're behind the 8 ball. It also is the case if you've got a low, anything below, say, 4.2 is not ideal. So certainly on Google, it's not ideal. And so if you're sitting at that lower number compared to the rest, you do want to lift that up and see what you can do to grow that. And it is obviously the less reviews you have, if they're negative, the higher proportion that it's dragging your reviews down. So if you get more reviews of a higher nature, it will lift your overall score up. Again, I'll touch on that. So then reply to negative reviews and seek to fix them, and then reply to positive reviews. So I'm going to look at our Google My Business page now. So I am an admin. Multiple people in our company are admins to the profile. I'm going to just briefly go over the Google My Business profile. So editing the profile is pretty straightforward. It's got the details in here. You'll see the business category. The primary is internet marketing service. This is where I recommend that you go and have a look. We've got a description, our open date, contact information. We use what's called a UTM. I won't go into that specifically today, except to tell you that what that means is that we can track when someone clicks on our Google My Business listing and see specifically that that's generating us leads. We've got social profiles, we've got our location, service area, and then our hours of being open. And then there's a few other bits and pieces that you can put in there. We identify as woman-led because there are a significant number of women in our business in leadership roles. Our managing director is a female, and our commercial director is a female. I will be careful with what I say here. It does become important a little later on. We're dealing with negative reviews. Perhaps the more woke your business is, the more likely you are to have negative reviews removed. You take what you wish as to what woke means, but being identified as a woman-led business, perhaps being more into that culture war side of things, not something I subscribe to myself, but that is responded to by the tech platforms, for better or worse. And so it's something that you may wish to be aware of in the way that you present your brand. So that's the accessibility. We have an elevator, so you can come in at any time. And then there's all new ones being added. Crowd, no idea what that is. And then we've got contact. So there's all just jumping us. That's all fine. That's all good. Then we've got our reviews. I'll come back to those last. Messages. We actually received a message the other day, which was great. Here we go. It's going to load. So do check, because periodically people will message you through this. And what they do when they message us is, hi, I've been recommended by a good friend. I'm interested in looking at pricing. Didn't give us any contact details. So we have to go back to them and say, please provide us the contact details. So it's something for you to be aware of, that it does exist and you should look at it, because it doesn't always let you know that you've had messages there. Photos, don't worry about that. Performance, I mean, you can add all the photos you wish. This is something that we look at every week. We track the number of business profile interactions we get, the number of people that are viewing the profile, and really important if you're a shop or an e-commerce store. This is a big indicator of e-commerce revenue and success. We've got searches being shown. We've got calls. Once it decides it's going to load. So on average, we have 11 calls, which is great. Directions. Again, more likely to be valid for you if you are a physical store. And then we've got website clicks. So all of these metrics are very important for you to review, because what you'll see is that the number of profile interactions and the number of people that see your profile can often be 3-4 times as many people that have seen your website in the same period. So a lot of people see this listing. Right, they're seeing this listing here, and that's why these reviews are so powerful, because if they see that you've got few or negative reviews, then you're going to be on the backside of that. You can edit products, services, bookings, questions and answers, adding updates, which I recommend you do. You'll see our latest update was from 5 days ago, and then it was a fortnight before that. But as to the reviews, we have 80 5-star reviews, which is a bit of a misnomer, because we have one-star review. So that's the numbers game that we live in. As soon as we got 4.95 stars, we jump back up to 5 stars. So there is a calculation that occurs. And so it's always interesting to go and see, when you see a business that has 5 stars, does it actually have 5 stars, or has it got such a large number of reviews that it has wiped out the negative review? So if you have a negative review on your Google My Business listing, you can get rid of that review by getting more 5-star reviews. So that is a tip that you can work toward. As to the negative review, great talkers, little on delivery, I would avoid using these guys. It's really unfortunate that the entire suburb of Grey Lynn feels that way. Sad, sad, sad. Pretty sure that we know who this individual is, but because it's a pseudonym, we can't do anything about that. So what we wrote there firstly was, hi there, and this is important for you to do. Reply to these negative reviews, because you're not replying to this person. This person has chosen to be malicious about our business. The people that are negatively reviewing you are being negative about your business. You are responding to all of the people who are looking at these reviews. You're talking to your new customers. You're talking to the clients you've yet to work with. Now, before this last review, when we had 79 reviews, it's 4.95. As soon as we have 80 reviews, it's 5 stars. I guarantee you that no one's going to look at the 79 5-star reviews they're going to look at the one-star review. And to that, it says, hi there, as your profile doesn't have a name, we are not sure who you are. Further, we have not had any customer complaint, so we're not sure what exactly the issue is. Can you please contact us so we can arrange a time for myself to speak with you? And then I updated this to say, very sad that over a year later, this person still hides behind a fake name and won't allow us to respond to this clearly fake review. So that is a statement in itself. It clearly shows that from our company's point of view, we don't believe that it's real. We've asked for that person to respond to us. Then I've come back a year later and said that they haven't. And now I'm letting that review speak for itself. I am illustrating that this person is clearly a bit of a drongo. And we go, well, you can go and have a look at this other person's reviews and see that they just like giving negative reviews. Like a couple of 5 stars in here, but there's definitely a trend toward negativity, right? So that's the kind of context you're dealing with, these sorts of people who live life in this way. So there's not much you can do about that. In terms of the reviews themselves, the positive reviews, I do encourage you to go and respond to them. Now, I know some people listening will say, I have reviews that are negative reviews that are 2-3 years old. It's still valid to go back to those reviews and to say, we're sorry you had that experience. We have over the period grown as a business. We would love to have the opportunity to work with you, because sometimes these reviews are valid. They have a real reason to have posted a negative review. And therein lies the opportunity for your business to call that person and say to them, hey, what can I do to improve, to make that 3-star review turn it into a 5? Most reasonable people, certainly if it's a 1-star review, you can try it, but I don't think anything's 1 star unless you've walked into their house and kicked their dog. I mean, really, is it 1 star? Was it that bad? No, it probably wasn't. If someone gives you a 2, 3, 4 review, they're indicating to you that you let them down in their eyes and they want you to improve. Take that opportunity to contact them and say, okay, what did we do wrong? How can we be better? Yes, reply to that, but then also contact them, because you might be surprised that you can turn that negative review into a positive review. And that's happened for me. I've had that happen to Wonks. We've rung the client and explained that there was a misunderstanding. We're sorry that had happened, and we'll work with them. I mean, I've taken a lot of pride in that 1-star review. If you're anything like me, that 1-star review from that anonymous person irks me no end. You wait till I get to the negative Glassdoor reviews and you'll see that I'm reasonably angry about those. So you want to have that positive brand out there. And so you want to reply, you want to hold your head up high, you want to be able to deal with it. So my recommendation is always go and review them. Now, what do you do if you've had a negative review, and as we have, and you don't believe it's real? Well, you can click on the reporting button. So if you go into the reviews, and we'll go to the lowest one, and we can click on report review. I'll do this. I've reported this review at least 20 times. So now I'm going to say, I just pick one. You pick one that's relevant to you, but because I never get listened to, I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to say that it's discrimination or hate speech, and I'm going to send it to the report, and then I'm going to get this, and it's going to send it to our website, our email address connected to this account, and I'll hear nothing. It'll never change. So, requesting Google support, don't bother, it never works. Well, do bother. I shouldn't be so cynical. You should look to get it reported, and you might be surprised. They might remove it. And as I said, try and try again. You can get media attention. There are 2 examples of this in the last 12 months. There is a gay bar in Dunedin who was actively supported by the previous government, and something topical came about, and they had their position, and then the other opposition to them got on Facebook and said, let's go and do a whole bunch of negative reviews. And so their bar got all these 1-star reviews. Well, lickety split, they got removed, they got taken away pretty quickly because it's seen to be a hate crime and negative, and rainbow associated businesses do better in being able to moderate their overall brand online is how I position that. And then subsequently this year, a bookshop in Napier posted or removed a book from their offering from and said, look, we're not going to support this particular author. And again, social media rallied and posted a whole bunch of 1-star reviews. Google got involved in that because of the negative press that was associated with it, and they removed those reviews. So if you've got friends in the media, kick up a stink, and that helps. For the rest of us, Joe Average, hardworking Kiwis, well, good luck. As I said, you're best to get positive reviews. That's how you're going to get forward. There is this web page removal tool. So if I click on that, this allows you to actually submit to Google reviews that you, web pages that have been posted about your business or about you generally that you can ask to be removed. So I did that about our Glassdoor reviews, which I'm going to show you in a moment. I submitted it to the Google legal team a month ago. And basically they said we decided not to take action, which is typical of the tech platforms. They really are not interested in doing it. So as unfortunate as it is, these reviews will stay up. However, it's always worth giving it a try. Contrary to my pithy statement on the slide, you should go and look to add the negative, or add the report on the review, to respond to the review, look to get new reviews, and then can you submit to Google that they are in breach of their legal expectations. So this link will be available in the description of this video once we are done. So that's how to do it. So generating more Google reviews. Well, you want to use the Google review link, and I'll hand over to Nick in a moment. He's going to show you how to do that. I would definitely encourage inducing people with prize draws or other offers. So imagine that you have a group of clients and you say to them, look, every month you're going to go on the draw to win $150 if you review us, 5-star review. That's an option that you can put forward. You could say at your point of sale, you could have a QR code where they could scan it and takes them to that listing. And you can say, we will give away a $50 hamper to every person who reviews us 5 stars. And you've got to say that you need to review us 5 stars. You want to encourage them to give you the full 5 stars. There are other platforms that allow you to send out emails. They have a cost to them, but you can send out an email. So if they give you a 5-star review, it posts it directly to Google. If they give you anything below 5 stars, 4 and below, it sends you the email. So it never gets posted, but you get the opportunity to moderate that before it goes up. So there's an option there. As I said before, the QR code at point of sale. I think point of sale is a real opportunity for a lot of people who have stores, that customer service piece. And if you are a service-based business or a trade-based business, you're behind the scenes, having a dedicated person internally who looks after the reviews is often quite a big opportunity for you, because that person builds the relationship with all of your customers and can shift the needle from a 2 review to at least maybe a 4 if it gets up there. A number of clients that I've worked with in the past, what they'll do is they will send in the mop-up, either if it's a physical invoice, they'll send them a tea towel, and wrapped up in the tea towel was a please review us note. Or they have sent, we worked with a landscape business, and they would send, after they've landscaped someone's grass, they would send them a little bucket with some grass seed. And again, there was a review request in that. So just that inducement goes a long way to getting you those reviews, and it kickstarts it. And then, as I say, folding into that, someone within the business whose job it is to take accountability for it will help you. So Nicholas, if you're ready to go, mate, I will stop my sharing and I'll get you to start sharing, and we can see how to generate the link that needs to be shared.
Right. Thank you, Jeff. I had audio issues before. Hopefully that's been rectified now. Okay, so Google reviews are crucial for your business, as Jeff alluded to, as they directly influence your online reputation, visibility, customer trust, and organic search results. So as I'm sure most of you know, getting a review on your business profile can be difficult at the best of times. So by sharing a link to your profile, eliminates the need for customers to search for your business on Google before leaving a review. So it demonstrates that you value your customers' feedback and want to make the process as convenient as possible for them. And also, when you share a link, you can accompany it with personalized messaging, encouraging customers to leave a review and expressing gratitude for their support. So that can further incentivize customers to take action. All right, so I'll share my screen. We'll head over to the Wonks profile and let's have a look. Just, all right. Okay, hopefully you can all see my screen now. Now, first of all, you need to log into your Google business profile, and you do that at google.com/business. So there's a couple of ways I can do this. I can either click on my reviews here, and then I can click on Get More Reviews. Now, the beautiful thing is Google create the link for you, okay? So that's one way you can do it, or otherwise I can scroll down here and I can click on Get More Reviews. It's basically the same thing, okay? All right, so all I simply need to do is I can click on the little clipboard here, and that link will be copied for me, ready to paste into an email, or you may be doing some social media activity, etc. So let's post that into a new tab, and we'll see what it looks like for the customer. So, all right, so the customer can leave you a 5-star review, hopefully, and they can enter their comments in here, and they may like to add a photo or video as well, and then they simply hit post. So nice and easy. Oops, I'll just, sorry.
Thanks for that, Nick. You've got to, I just want to keep us moving along as well. So
yeah, that's nice and easy. Yep.
Nick has a video walkthrough that he has done, which we can post the link for after this call, which will show you how to do it.
That was uploaded to our.
Sorry, I'm just going to mute there, Nick. You can say something there at the end. I did have a question. I'm not sure if it came up publicly, asking if it's ethical to pay for reviews. And so the answer to that is no, it's not ethical to pay for reviews. I would never recommend that you were to exchange money for someone to write you a review. There's a big difference between that and inducing someone. So it's quite a common experience to induce someone to do something for you. So to say, go on the draw to win if you'd like us to review. You've got to remember that the person still has the option of negatively reviewing you at that point. They're not going to necessarily give you 5 stars. You can encourage that as much as you would like. If you put a point of sale recommendation to review you and the cashier is obstinate or belligerent, it's unlikely that you're going to get a review, but it's more likely that they're going to give you a negative one because they can see it right there that, hey, you're not treating me well. And then that might have a good bearing upon the salesperson. Similarly, you could say to the salesperson, hey, look, we would like to see more from you. If you can get the person to post that we like working with Jenny, then that might be something that they are encouraged for as a KPI for themselves. So yeah, just to be clear, I would never encourage you to pay for a review. That is not ethical. However, inducing someone and encouraging them to do so it's still their choice. They are not being, there's no consideration being exchanged. And then additionally, if it's a prize draw and you get 10 more reviews per month, only one person is getting that prize draw. But it's certainly something that could be discussed and debated a bit further. I just wanted to respond to that particular question. By all means, if there are any other questions, please don't hesitate to ask. That's a really good question. So thank you for that. Online reviews for Facebook. So social credibility can go a long way. So reviews on Facebook do matter. However, as I said before, you're not getting as much ranking support from Facebook. And Facebook has a habit of asking you to recommend things that you might not have actually had any association with. So you might have liked a group in the past that might have had an offer, or in my case, I'm a bit nerdy. I like seeing old pictures of the North Shore. And so it shows you all of these farms that used to be there. And then it's like, would I recommend this page? Well, probably not, because I don't want everyone to know that I'm an absolute nerd, but maybe I would. And so is it a genuine review in that sense? I guess it comes back to that question around the inducement. So it does actively encourage reviews, and that's maybe not always the best. I would always encourage you to respond to your reviews on Facebook, just like Google. But unlike Google, you can actually disable the section on the review. So you can remove that altogether, which you cannot do with Google. So if you have a listing on Google, it has to keep the reviews up. Either you turn off your listing full stop and people can't find you, and that would remove your reviews, or you have to keep the reviews up. Facebook, they're a little bit less inclined to walk a black and white road, so they offer a bit of grey. So you either can turn off reviews, so no one can see any reviews, or leave them on, and the mixture that are there can be seen. But again, that social credibility piece is important. Without going into it, because I'm mindful of time, I had asked someone on Marketplace just yesterday a question. We have not concluded the sale, and yet I'm being told to review them. How can I review someone when all I'm doing is having a conversation? So Facebook is doing that for its own reasoning. It's pushing reviews because it wants to build that credibility out on its platform, whereas maybe there's not a genuine nature there. So I do question that. So on to the one that's frustrated our company, Glassdoor. So if you're not familiar with who Glassdoor are, they are an employer review website where you can post anonymous reviews about your, as an employee, about your employer. So we have 4 negative reviews on our Glassdoor account. 2 of them were from historic, and they're just insane. The reason those staff members don't work with us is because they were not productive people, and their posts were just cuckoo, and so there was no point responding to them. Last year, we made 2 staff redundant, and we offshored their roles to Manila. They signed a contract, which we offered them a without prejudice offer, and gave them additional money because they have home lives, and we were under no obligation to do this, but we paid them a sizable amount of money and said, you know, good luck. We gave both of those individuals a reference and have helped them with their references. Fast forward to January of this year, and we had 1 negative post, and then in February we had a 2nd negative post. Both of those posts are defamatory against the business, and they are in breach of the contract. Now, both of them refer back to those 2 employees. So we went through the process of, well, these are fake reviews and they're defamatory, and we have a contract whereby we pay those individuals money. So far more so than just your standard Google review, we're actually into legal territory. We then went and engaged a New Zealand-based lawyer. That has cost us so far $5,000. Now, we're pretty confident we know who it is, especially given the response that we got from one of the individuals, which was to tease it out. They knew that they were costing us more money by every time responding to our lawyer, and it was going to be a problem. Now, if you're anything like me, when you get a negative review, be it through Google or anywhere else, it tied me up in knots. I have worked very hard to be ethical, to be a fair business owner, to be a good employer. And so to have those lies spread about me daily for about 3 weeks, I was consumed by it. And it started to eat into my ability to do my job. Thankfully, I run and I get a good amount of fitness. At that point, I was just let it go. just let it go. There's no point in having this out there. However, Zuru Toys, Nick Mowbray, he had gone to the extent of suing Glassdoor. And so I thought, well, you know what? I'll go to the same lawyer that Zuru Toys went with. So I went and reviewed the legal judgment in America, and I discovered who the lawyer was. And I discovered that what you need to do, and this is true of all tech platforms, so not just Glassdoor, it's also Facebook, it's also Google, it's also domain authorities, that what happens is there's an ex parte ability for a foreign domiciled company to subpoena a tech business and ask for the names of the people, the email addresses, the IP addresses, all of the information relevant to that particular review to be disclosed to you. Now, Google, if you want to go to the extent of getting a negative review removed, Google will give you the information. Facebook will give you information. Microsoft will give you the information because they don't care, right? They won't help you if you use the function of reporting it, but when they get a legal notice, they will respond to it. Glassdoor, on the other hand, have made it their life to ensure that 1-star reviews are promoted. And when we write 5-star reviews, when I've had other of my staff write 5-star reviews to try to balance it out, they have not been added. They have been declined. I was quoted $60,000 just to submit the first step to Glassdoor, which they will then injunct. And then I was quoted a further $60,000 to then have a half-day court case where we would articulate that New Zealand doesn't sit under the First Amendment as it is in the US, and that the proceedings are available to us in New Zealand and that they are defamatory. So the question has to be asked, am I going to pay 200,000 New Zealand dollars to go through that exercise? And the answer at this point is no, I'm not. The problem here, though, is what recourse does anyone have? And it may be the same for your business. I've now gone to Glassdoor, and I'll show you this. So they don't care, by the way. They could give a tinkers. But what I've done is I've gone and said I'm an engaged employer. So we've got a 3.4 review here. But I claimed the account. So this is the case for you. I claimed the account. And it doesn't matter if it's No Cowboys or Glassdoor, if it's Google or Facebook, claim it, because then I was able to respond to those reviews. I'm able to see a lot more information, and I am going through the process of looking at how to deal with it. But it is incredibly frustrating that these reviews are up there. What's more frustrating is that when you actually search for Wonks now, it's being indexed. So you can actually see that we've got 3.4 out of 5 on Glassdoor. It's actually being shown here. The most galling part of this, of course, is that it is defamatory. It is a breach of the contract that these individuals signed. And so, as I pointed out to my staff the other day, the attack isn't just on me. It's the attack on the company, the attack on the staff. And it's the same for you when you get a 1-star review. Is it fair if you employ 10 people and one person makes a mistake, that the other 9 people are hit by that, especially in these economic times when business is tough to come by, that you're going to be hit by that? So I opened it up to my staff and said, well, obviously, we offered a bounty. And so if you know who's done those negative reviews for Wonks, $10,000 cash, and I'll pay it to you if you provide me the evidence of whoever did it. Don't necessarily recommend that you do that, but have a dialogue with your team about both things. 1, stopping negative reviews from ever happening, but 2, encouraging positive reviews, because you will get feedback from people all the time. I loved your service. I really like your product. It's such a good thing. I'm so glad I have it. And then the next thing that comes out of your mouth is typically thanks. Really like to hear that. What you should also say is, can I get a review? Is that possible for you to give me a review? That'd be really helpful information. I'll give you the link as Nick showed it to you. So definitely something that you should take to that next step as to what you can do to get over the fact that there are negative reviews. Like, that's just part and parcel, unfortunately. And as I showed you, the tech companies don't care and were not supported legally. Like, the information that's posted about my business on Glassdoor is illegal, and too bad for me. I just have to lump it. And unfortunately, it'll be the same for you when you get a negative review. So I think that the politicians won't do anything about it, unfortunately. But if you can outweigh it with more positive reviews, as we have done with Google My Business, and then it's tipped over to 5 stars, as we have done with the negative ones on Glassdoor, and we will continue to do it. And I think one of the final points I'd make is that if you've got a negative review and it's your business and you care a lot about your business, your attachment to that review is going to be personal. It's going to be visceral. The person reviewing it or reading it, they're just going to see it as another review. So letting it go is as much a win as it is actually, getting it removed. And so if you can acquiesce to that and you can build positivity and be positive in your outlook and reward that within your team, reward the people that are going out there and being better, you're going to be on such a firmer foot than anyone else. So what we covered was just general review tips. Obviously, this will go up onto YouTube and you can review this afterwards. Google reviews, Facebook reviews, Glassdoor. As I said, no cowboys, any of the restaurant review apps, any industry-specific websites that you have, check them out. I mean, even if it's a limited, non-visible website that very few people go to, don't leave reviews out there in the wind. Engage with them, respond to them. How to generate new reviews, obviously use the link, send out monthly emails, maybe in the invoice, if it's a digital invoice, ask for a review there. At point of sale, induce one every quarter, maybe have a team goal of getting some more reviews and reward your team. So a lot of different tricks that you can come up with there. So before we have the prize draw, I will open the floor up to questions. Obviously, I had one earlier. Thank you for that. Are there any questions? We've actually retained all of our audience today, which is wonderful to see. Listening to me drone on for an hour must be quite a chore. So I can't see you. I presume that everyone's got a drink in their hand. So no questions. If there's no questions, I'm going to hand it over to Olivia. So to Nick for 1 second. Nick, just have a quick little comment there, Nick, and then we'll make the prize draw.
Okay, thanks everybody for attending today. If you would like to ask any questions about the presentation, or you would like to discuss how we can be of assistance to your business, feel free to contact us via the website. A special offer to all of you who have attended today. So during the month of May, we will complete our foundation product, the Data Health Kit, for only $1,600 ex-GST. So that's a $300 saving for you. The next webinar will be on May the 29th at 2 p.m. as usual, and we will address where should your online ad spend be spent. So you can head over to our website to register for that if you wish. All right. Over to Olivia now.
I'll just answer one of the questions, the keyboard warrior question. I'm not sure where that's being dealt with. It may be on a social platform. We had that on a social platform the other day on X, where the person, we advertised the last webinar, which goes for an hour. We had 1 million views, and they were absolutely cooking. So it's on Google. David, perhaps I can give you have a personal phone call with you afterwards just to help you with that, because there's nothing that you can do about it on Google, unfortunately. But if they're posting multiple times with the same account, they can only do it once. It should be removed. If they're using pseudonyms, it should be removed as well algorithmically. But perhaps I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you afterwards. I presume we'll have your contact details, and I can help you with it, because it's just so frustrating. And often it can be a competitor. That's how terrible it is. So I'll give you a call there, David. So Olivia, drum roll, please. Someone's going to win. Oh, you're on mute there, Livy.
Sorry. The part we've all been waiting for. So we have one lucky winner for the $500 cash prize, and that is going to Diddy Allen. So congratulations, Diddy. will be in touch with you next week. So
Good work. Is that from Tidy? Is that the company Tidy? Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Did he? I think Tidy's worked with us for a long time, so that's great that they're there. And it's nice to see a mixture of, we've got existing clients and new businesses in here today, so that's fantastic. Lynn's, absolutely, we can send you that. So we will get that up in the next day or two. Of course, if you have any other questions that you'd like to ask us privately, then by all means, please don't hesitate to get in touch. We know that this is a contentious topic and one that can be a frustration, and we obviously throw everything in the kitchen sink at it to get these things removed. So look, to everyone, thank you very much. I don't know if I put it in there. The next webinar is most likely to be on how to place your advertising spend, where to place your advertising spend, how to adapt your budgets. But we'll send out an email about that at the end of this month, as you will hear about it on the radio, through our sales team and through digital channels. But if you do want to get in touch with us about our work, then please don't hesitate to do so. Thank you for giving up an hour of your day today. You're all stars. Have a wonderful day. Lest we forget our fallen comrades for Anzac Day. Go well.
Thanks, everybody.